into order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Mr. Vazon?
Present.
Mr. Henderson?
Here.
Mr. Duco?
Here.
Mrs. Edison?
Here.
Mrs. Merritt?
Here. Approval of the minutes.
Motion. Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mr. Duco?
Yes.
Mrs. Huddleston?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mrs. Merritt?
Yes. Treasurer's reports.
Okay. For the meeting, we have donations received, $50 from Sue and Jim DeJane for the Hall of Fame, $100 from the American Legion for Nurse Supplemental, $200 from Andrew John Billette for Hall of Fame, $100 from Lewis Altmore, DDS, for Hall of Fame, $400 anonymous for Nurse Supplemental. Financial items to approve, transfers from the General Fund to NOSB, Envirothon, Academic Challenge, MSDI, Choir, and approve an advance back to the General Fund from ARP, and a transfer from the General Fund to Cafeteria Fund in the amount of $50,000.
Motion. Second.
Discussion.
I would just like to thank all these people for their donations. It's very nice of them.
And Jennifer, this isn't about any of this, but would you send me the report again with the teachers, you know, all the salary
Mm-hmm.
and contract information that you usually send me?
Mm-hmm.
And then on the seating that we do for the Envirothon, the Academic Challenge, do you think, does anyone care if we kick that up to like $300 just for inflation for next year, the next time we go around?
You know, I think it is in our
Do we pump it up?
No, I don't know if it's in our policies
Okay.
or our bylaws. We may have to look at that at
Okay.
the next policy.
Okay,
If we want to,
Yes.
that's fine. We'll just need to change it in.
okay, all right, thank you. That's all I have.
Yep.
Roll call.
Mr. Duco?
Yes.
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mrs. Huddleston?
Yes.
Mrs. Merritt?
Yes. And at this time, I don't believe we have any public participation, so we'll move on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I have a number of things, as you might expect on the first board meeting after the first several days of school. So I have our first 3 days of school report. You may notice, board, we have a few new faces in here this evening, and we'd like to introduce and have them introduce themselves as well. We have department updates, which is very typical this time of the year. And wanted to talk about some other good news in terms of a grant that we're recipients of. So I'm going to start with the first 3 days. It was an exceptional first 3 days, and I'm going to say that looking at Mr. Fairfield and Mrs. Dunnigan, our principal.
Unknown caller.
And would say it was exceptional. We've had a great start. In fact, I'm going to say this, I'm not so sure I've had a smoother start in quite some time. And the reason I say this, when I walked down the hallway, even as early as Tuesday and this morning, teaching and learning is taking place. We're not talking about routines. We're not lining kids up to see who's first in the restroom. It was teaching and learning genuinely happening in all grade levels, K through 12. And under one roof, you can really see that taking place. So communications and routines are in place. And that was developed long before August 21st. When you think of the orientations, when you think of the summer learning series, our before and after care programs over the years, we've really started to guide our students that, you know, yes, we had 3 months off, but not so much of 3 months of learning off. So we really hit the ground running and really proud of where we are in terms of getting a real good jump start on the year. The before and after care program started today. Normal years, we're at least a week before we even think about starting that. We had 30 students, and we have a waiting list already for before and after care. 30 students in the morning, probably more than 30 in the afternoon. So something we're going to talk about and see what kind of options we might have to accommodate the before and after care.
Dennis, on that, would you remind me of the start time and the end time?
Yeah, start time for before is 7 to 8:30, 7 a.m., and after school is 3:30 to 5:30. It's a really nice service for our families. So, do we have more? Or am I missing that? Okay, so
No,
yeah.
no.
I'm going to say this, another piece to that good start is we have a great dedicated staff that was here long before August 17th and 18th. You know, as the building opened up and rooms were ready to go, they were in here preparing for the start of the year. So tonight, actually, we have some new and some veteran staff that are back, and I was hoping we could spend a few minutes and just get some names and faces together, but I'll start with Mrs. Dunnigan and Mr. Fairfield, and we'll come back and talk about opening day, but if you just want to introduce our new people.
Yep. So coming to our school this year is our new 4th grade teacher, Kayla Klasik.
Kayla, if you want to just give us a little bio, you're more welcome to. If you don't, it's okay too.
I'm Kayla. This is my 11th year going in teaching. I was at Youngstown for 10 years previously, taught K1 and 2. I'm excited with these older kids. Just after a couple of days, relationships that you build and how they just talk to you. And it has been so fun, just in 3 days, just having conversations that I couldn't have previously. And I'm just excited to be here.
Our gifted teacher, Jamie Kukunis, is on board with us.
Hi, it's good to be here. I have seven years, or this will be my 7th year with teaching. I also have 5 years with Children's Library. So I am excited about being back into teaching for the 2nd year. And creative science is the way that I'm going to be using my time here, working with all the kids actually. So in the last 2 days, I've seen K through 4, one class. I have one class yet to see. And we were doing a water displacement activity and a fable to go with it, and we had a good time.
Thank you. And our new music teacher, Madeline Matika.
Hi everyone, really nice to see you all and meet all of you. I just want to say, Leetonia has had some of the friendliest staff and students that I've seen in a very, very long time. And I guess I can't say a long time. I'm actually a recent graduate. So in the spring, I just graduated from Westminster College. So I'm really thankful that Leetonia gave me the opportunity to start my teaching career officially. I get to see all different grade levels from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade, teaching just general music and choir for Leetonia. So I'm very excited.
And then we also have a 6th grade teacher who cannot be with us. She will be with us in September, Samantha Saccone. So we welcome all of you, and we are very happy that you're all here with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Fairfield.
With Madeline, we have 3 excellent additions to the high school staff. We have Valerie Vittori. She is our social studies teacher, and she is going to be taking over for Mr. Costello as he's out on medical leave. I've got a chance to go into her classroom and observe her interaction with our students, and I think she's doing a fantastic job. And then out of retirement, we talked to Andres Balputnis to come in and teach chemistry. And again, an electrifying educator who has I've realized has reached legendary status in Columbiana County because everybody that walks in the building knows Mr. B.
Yeah.
So I'll allow both of them to say hi.
I wanted to say, Michelle, it's Andres.
I see. I'm so excited.
I'm a better person for having known Andres.
And we'll let Ms. Vittori go first just because Andres is kind of hard to call.
Yeah.
I'm really short. I just can't see all of you. Like Madeline said, Leetonia, the staff here has been really great. They've been helping me out. I'm excited. I was at Crestview for 2 years before this, but I just did tutoring and subbing. This is my first full year as a teacher, so I'm really excited to see how the year goes. And thanks for having me.
Thank you. Mr. Balputnis.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sure that some of you recognize my voice. I have been the announcer for the state track meet for the past 21 years, and I announce all the track at YSU. If you ever come to a track meet up there, you'll hear me. I've called Dennis's daughter's name up there a number of times. I work at the Spire Institute in Cleveland. I work for the Big Ten. I do the Big Ten meet and a lot of the track for the Big Ten. And I don't know what's going to happen now with those 4 West Coast teams coming into the Big Ten, if they'll still have the meet here in Cleveland, because of the cost of transporting all those West Coast teams to Ohio to run a track meet. I don't know if that makes much sense, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. I did want to comment about, I'd never been in Leetonia High School, other than when I was the athletic director at Crestview. I would come over here for a basketball game. But the building is incredible, in my opinion. I've been in high schools all over the state of Ohio. This is right at the top. Facilities and staff included. The cafeteria ladies are unbelievable, not only friendly, but the food is out of sight. The first couple of days I've tried those wraps that they make. They are so good. I ate one for lunch and then got another one and took it home for supper. And I'm going to do it again tomorrow. And the custodial, the cleanliness of the building is unbelievable. Chemistry lab can get very filthy from use because of the way this one is immaculate. There's not a spot of dust anywhere. So impressive. And the teaching staff, so helpful. The last time I was in a classroom was 1998, 25 years ago. And everything was paper and pencil. There was no Google Classroom and Google grade books and all this stuff. So I have been overwhelmed with that part. The academics is no problem. That came right back to me. But the technology, I feel like I'm drinking out of a fire hose right now. But the teachers have been great coming over and helping me, and the students have been awesome the first 3 days. We had our first quiz today. I didn't give them long to rest. Had our first quiz today, and I'll bet 75% of the kids got an A or a B. It's wonderful.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Okay, department updates, very typical again for the start of the school year. Let's start with Kelsey Keller, our food service.
I'm gonna have to follow that. That's kind of difficult, but he gave me a great introduction for the cafeteria. Thank you for that. So, all good news. Our summer program was very successful this year. All of our students were able to eat breakfast and lunch for free, so there was no charge back to the school for that, which was awesome. Breakfast being free for everybody has been a hit so far, so thank you guys for approving that. We really do appreciate it. The kids, we're pretty much picking up numbers right where we left off at the end of the school year, which last year when we started, we were probably at half of what we were trying to maintain. So it's been a great start, and we're really excited about that. All of our reduced students this year are eating for free. So the state of Ohio decided to pass a bill stating that they are going to reimburse all the schools the 30 and 40 cents for the lunches served to their reduced students. So our reduced students are eating for free. I did include the letter there. That is what went home with all of their status approvals this school year, just notifying them that they're able to eat for free and that they will be responsible for no money in the cafeteria. We hired a new employee, Nancy Coleman. She joins us this year, and one sub who's currently onboarding to help us with some vacations. And then our free and reduced applications we're doing really well with getting those in. I really try to focus on that at open house and being up front where everybody's coming in the door and really encouraging them to take a chance, especially with this great opportunity with the reduced prices. So really encourage that, and we're getting good feedback. As far as the Medicaid free and reduced, there's still some kinks in that, so hopefully in September I'll have better news with that, and I'll be able to put those kids in our system and issue them a letter to for free or reduced. Do you guys have any questions for me? Great. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen wearing two hats. We have Mr. Favazzo. We're going to talk about maintenance and transportation, please.
Okay. Well, you've seen the building. The custodians did an amazing job this summer, as always. They make me look good. The paving project was completed today. They finally striped out back by the stadium. We've added 10 handicap spaces to the west of the stadium and 15 or 20 regular spaces. We also added 15 out front, and when we reline and seal coat the front parking lot, we'll have an additional 4 handicap spaces. So we'll have a total of 7 handicap right in the front by the flag, and then we've added visitor parking out front. The field house, we started a project back in May to improve the air quality in the field house. We break ground on it Monday. There's been some things that are back ordered, but it'll add HVAC controls, increase the outdoor air coming into the building, and replace all the exhaust fans. Hopefully that'll be done by the end of the football season. Board office, the air conditioning needed replaced, and we're also did some adjustments so that we bring in more outside air into that area also. We added 2 doors in the office. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but we connected the high school secretary to the special services office, and then we blocked off a hallway. And that's pretty much it. A lot of painting, stripping the floors this year. And I know everybody wants to talk about a sewage lift station, but we're gonna be rebuilding that here in October. Any questions on maintenance?
Sir,
Good. Transportation time?
please.
All right. We got a new bus this year. It's taken a while. We ordered it in November of 21. It's bus number 2, and we shifted some numbers around, so we're happy to finally get that. We ordered another one this year, and they're hoping it'll be here by the start of next school year, so it's taken well over a year and a half to get a bus in. We're still using Route Finder, Wayfinder, Stop Finder, Zonar, everything that we started using last year. So the buses have the tablets for the routes. We still have a parent app, which we have about 80 subscribers to. Same with routing software. The parents would have received an email for the Stop Finder app, and they have to click that link. So if anybody happens to ask you about the app, just tell them to check their email. Routes were finished, and the hundreds of changes this week. It's constant. All of the information I get in routing software comes from Final Forms, so that's the big thing we need to push. The parents need to update Final Forms, or else it never gets into the routing software. Student ID cards, we decided this year that we're gonna hand them out to everyone, kindergarten through 6th grade, and the bus riders 7 to 12. So we're hoping to start that in the next couple weeks. That's pretty much it. Transportation questions?
What percentage of our students ride?
We're probably in the 60-65%. I wanna say there's 560 students, 565 students, and I wanna say we have 280, 290, so maybe closer to 50%.
And what did the 80%, you mentioned an 80%, or 80 people signed up for the app.
Yeah,
What
so
app is that, Dan?
I can
That's
see
the
how many
tracker.
subscribers.
That's
So they know when the kid steps on the bus, they can track.
so of all of our kids that ride the bus, 250, only 80 of them are taking advantage of that.
Yeah, but you also have some parents with multiple students.
But that's true.
So they would have got a link. When they download that app, they can actually see the bus on the map. Excuse me, and they can set like a circle around their house. And when the bus enters that circle, they'll get a notification on their phone. So if it's raining or snowy, they can know when the bus is getting close and then send their kids out. There's a lot of good features with the app. We just need to try to push it.
There's nothing that a parent would hesitate to use it for, right? It's just
I
that
can't
they don't
imagine.
know about it, or they haven't.
Or
done it yet.
Technology scares some
Okay.
parents too.
And it's early right now, but
Okay.
they will certainly have that opportunity.
All right, yeah, it'd be nice if we got more people involved
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, and we can send notifications, or I can send messages through that app as well. So if bus 13 was running late, I could send a message to bus 13's parents. But again, the more people that buy into it, the better off.
Could we buy a student a Blizzard if they signed up?
There you go. Perfect.
The parent.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks.
Mrs. Dunnigan, K6 update.
Yes, we had a great start to the year. Mr. Dunham is right, it has been smooth. It's just been a great start. Kindergarten orientation was full. We had, I think we're up to 45 students. So we had a great turnout. PTO had the characters here for the kindergarten again, so that was great. Open house was jammed. We had a full house for open house. No issues this year with orientation of 5th grade getting 6th grade lockers. It was just a couple, so that went very smooth. The PD days, the in-service days that we had, we are incorporating more phonics and more reading strategies, so that was a great PD. Our special ed department met with our teachers, and we did a lot of information and talking about differentiation and how to help students with special needs. So that was another great PD. So first day of school went smooth. Kids came in. I believe we maybe only had one kindergarten crier. Nobody screaming, nobody yelling. So that's huge. Parents were good. So yeah, it's been a really great start. The staff is very positive. They were very excited to get back this year, and we're looking forward to a great and exciting year. So got some great exciting things planned.
Thank you. Mr. Fairfield, welcome, 7-12, first 3 days.
I will also say it was a fantastic start. Being new to the district, coming into the school system, I was fortunate to walk into a lot of people that I already knew from my time at West Branch, so there were a lot of names that were familiar to me. We had 7th and 9th grade orientation a couple of days prior to the start of the school year, and it was well attended. Got to talk to several students and many parents after those orientations. And then our open house also, very well attended. Kids got to see lockers, got to pick up schedules and so forth. The first 3 days of school have been fantastic. I've held grade level meetings with every grade level. Carrie Eckler and Mary Rice and I did grade level meetings with 7, 8, and 9 on Tuesday, and then today we did 10, 11, and 12. And that's simply taking those kids into the cafeteria, kind of going over the handbook and some expectations, introducing myself to them, and then fielding questions. Kids were fantastic through those meetings. Teacher professional development the first couple of days prior to the start of school. We had Habitudes training, which is a program that Mr. Krumpak had brought in that will continue during our enrichment class periods. And it's 13 modules for leadership skills and social emotional learning that our teachers will use in those enrichment periods. And then we also did an abbreviated AED and CPR training with all of the high school staff as well too. So we'll check that box, and those teachers are all ready to go there. We've had a successful, maybe not winning start to the sports season, but successful in that our kids are trying hard, they're participating. We went up to Fairport Harbor, played football in facility. It was probably not top notch, but I still think our kids tried hard. And then volleyball, we won a second set last night. So a strong Lisbon team, and they'll travel to Valley Christian tomorrow. And then we have our Hall of Fame game and Hall of Fame breakfast this weekend as well too. So we have Waterloo, sports-wise, and so I think we're ready to go there too. It's been a great start to the school year. So kids are very well behaved and respectful.
Questions? Thank you for announcing. A reminder, the Hall of Fame, those who being inducted will be announced at 6:30 prior to the kickoff, 6:30 Friday evening. And then there is a Hall of Fame breakfast, 9 a.m. in the cafeteria. Mr. Fairfield talked about athletics. I would echo significant improvement in all teams, football, volleyball, junior high, volleyball, cheerleading, golf. Things are moving in the right direction. Lastly, I promised I wouldn't, Mr. Claps out anything at all, technology. Again, I don't want to not mention Ryan, but the Chromebooks and the network and everything that makes us move forward doesn't happen by accident. And Ryan's a good, obviously does a fabulous job with our technology. It's a one-man show. And I'd say the same thing with all of our departments, all of our new staff. None of this happens by accident. Success really is a lot of hard work behind the scenes, and everyone over here has done that. So thank you, and the board has to support, and they do that as well. So I thank everyone in this room for a good 3 days. Along those lines, some really big news here, for at least for me. You don't hear big news come from my mouth very often, but I thought it was pretty large. Board, I just passed out a packet at the very top. It has Columbiana County 21st Century. I'm going to read a cover letter. Congratulations, Columbiana County ESC has been awarded the Nita M. Lowry 21st Century Community Learning Center's grant for Leetonia Innovative Career Exploration. State strategic priorities for helping students in Ohio recover from the impact of the pandemic and thrive. Your organization, Leetonia Schools, is an important partner in this work. So Leetonia, through the hard work of Mr. John Dilling at the Columbia County ESC, Superintendent Anna Marie Vaughn, Assistant Superintendent Marie Williams, the ESC staff, Mr. Dilling spearheaded the actual grant, wrote the grant, and we were going to receive $196,400 for the next 5 years annually for a 5-year period. So totaling just about $1 million. So you may be asking, well, what is this? What are we going to use it for? Your grant's 21st Century Community Learning Center spans, again, 5 years, and we can renew each year the $196,000. So to give you an idea, and I'll try to say this in a nutshell, we're going to be able to provide after-school programs for grades 7 through 12 for internships, apprenticeships potentially, 12 hours a week, after-school hours. One of the areas that Mr. Dilling wrote with strong partnerships already in place at the Columbia County ESC is well positioned to develop a high quality program for Leetonia middle and high school students. One of the nice things that we have here, Leetonia Schools houses both the middle school and high school in one building on the school campus. The school has a place to provide both a career lab and classroom space for students in a robust after-school program. Leetonia Schools has the capacity to provide high-quality educational programming for students with business partners both on site at the business location or through remote learning opportunities. It really comes down to career exploration, developing skills that kids can work and partner with the businesses in Columbiana County outside the school day so that they are, again, it's kind of trial and error at times. You can think of all the things that we've done in our life, and you finally found that niche, so to speak. And we're asking our students to take interest in some opportunities that may not be available for a lot of other districts in the state of Ohio. But this 21st Century grant will allow us to have the funds to be able to support this ability for kids to go out, partner with the business advisory committee that we have in Columbiana County, because we have a ton of business partners that are anxious to develop kids. And we have an opportunity with this grant. So you're going to hear the acronym ICE, and that's Innovative Career Exploration. And that's what you're going to probably be hearing more than anything else. But in a nutshell, building strong partnerships with business in Columbiana County for our students to build professional skills. And the other important piece to this that we can't overlook is parent involvement. That's a huge piece to this. Our parents have to be involved in those after school hours, may enable them outside the work day for them to be involved with those professional skills. So very excited about it. I have a meeting with Mr. Dilling, Mr. Fairfield, Mr. John Biastra, our career counselor, and some other staff members next week. And as we start this process, it'll be ramping up in the next few weeks. So it's a pretty good opportunity for the Leetonia Schools, and I can't thank Columbiana County enough for the help in getting it off the ground and actually getting it approved. So part of your package, you'll notice other districts in the state that receive funding, and then there's the full 36-page grant, I believe, that's attached to it.
The back page has the budget, the $196,000.
Yes.
Looks like most of it's going to salaries.
To run the program.
Yeah, are those people from our staff? Could they come from any place?
They could come from
They're-
any
they're
place,
just
but
jobs
they
that people would
need to
apply
be,
for.
yeah, they would need to be qualified individuals for that. Yeah. So that's wide open right now.
And this happens after school.
Yes, sir. Yeah. After school hours. Not to say that a lot of the things we do during the day couldn't carry over, but certainly.
And the kids come from all over the county.
They could, yes.
So they're not just Leetonia.
So the other piece to this is, enrollment, I didn't talk about. Enrollment's up, I think it's 9 students we have over last year, more. So that's an opportunity if kids, if this opportunity is something that our students really, and it goes the way I want it to go, could students say, I'd like to be at Leetonia all day long, and then have this program in the afternoon. So, for the next 5 years, we're gonna be pushing it really hard this first year, so we could see our enrollment, if this program takes off the way that it's designed to take off. Other questions, anyone? I asked Ryan to queue up, last month, not last month, it's been a couple of months, last month maybe we approved it, K-Squared Marketing. K-Squared Marketing was in on Monday, and actually maybe for a little bit yesterday, they put together a opening of school, or back to school. So I'd like, Ryan, if you wouldn't mind, we're gonna show this. It's probably a 4-minute clip of back to school from K-Squared.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Out of bounds. Thank you, Ron. K-Squared, they will have representatives in the building every Tuesday They'll be working with us on various themes throughout the school year. Of course, the idea behind it is marketing Leetonia schools on digital, on Facebook, website, and also our print media and television stations. So it's a good start. They've been around, been in the classrooms, getting to know staff. Same person each week, so that they know our kids, know our staff. But I was happy with their first effort on Monday. I think, board, do you think you're okay if any of our staff want to get home and get things ready for tomorrow? We understand, because the rest of it is more board business, but certainly you're welcome to stay if you'd like.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to all of you.
Thank you.
They're looking at us like, now what?
Do they mean it?
All right, so we're now moving forward. Are we moving on to new business?
Please, if
Okay.
everyone's ready to move, proceed. Okay, I have a new business, 7 under personnel, 7A through F. 7A, long-term sub-teacher, approved Valerie Vittori as a long-term social studies teacher, substitute teacher for 23-24 school year, step 0 negotiated agreement. Reminder, this is for Mr. Costello's medical leave of absence. 7B, resignation, accept the resignation of Tricia Viets, effective August 9th, 2023, our 4th grade teacher. 7C, one-year certificated contract, approved Kayla Klasik as 4th grade teacher for 23-24 school year under 1-year limited teaching contract under VA Step 5. D, 1-year certificated contract, approve Andres Balputnis as a long-term sub 7 through 12 comprehensive science teacher for 23-24 school year. And this is a limited August 17th through January 12th. Mr. Balputnis will be on step 5 of the negotiated agreement masters. E, part-time cook, approved Nancy Coleman as a part-time cook for 23-24. And lastly, F, approve Tiffany front door office assistant, approved Tiffany Heverly as a part-time front door office assistant under a 1-year limited contract, step 1 for 23-24 school year. I ask you to consider that.
Motion. Second.
Oh, I'm not forgetting.
You bet.
I went the other way.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Vartan?
Yes.
Mrs. Harrelson?
Yes.
Mr. Duco?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mrs. Merritt?
Yes.
Thank you. 7G through K, athletic team physician, asking the board to approve Dr. Joseph Scott, this will be no charge to the board, as athletic team physician for the 23-24 school year. Mr. Scott is a chiropractor, Dr. Scott, Scott Chiropractic on the bypass in Salem. You may have seen his office. He's available to treat various injuries that may come up or arise as a follow-up from any of our sports. But he'd certainly open his office up and even after hours if necessary. H is physical therapist, our athletic trainer, asking the board to approve Chris Ifendides from Jared PFT as a physical therapist athletic trainer for 2023-24 at a rate of $200 per home event as needed and $350 away event. Chris was at our game up in where were we? Thank you for Port Harbor, or Harding. And you'll notice he has an AED strapped around his chest. He has his medical kit with him everywhere he goes, but very responsive. Fortunately, we had the normal things that occur with football. We had one shoulder that needed some extra attention after the game, and it's nice to have somebody on the field and absolutely knows what they're doing. But recommending Chris to be with us for the football season. I, Lisa Blosser, unpaid leave, 4 days of unpaid leave, September 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, 2023. Before and after care program I mentioned this morning that we started this morning and this afternoon. AM coordinator, $30 for Mike Frenger an hour. PM coordinators, $38 an hour, Matt Burns, and certificate staff member Alicia Eller at $25. K, resolution authorizing lump sum payments for non-union employees. Approve the lump sum payment to non-union employees as per LAA OPSI agreements. You may recall there was a stipend last year and this year for association members. And this would enable Mrs. Cold Snow to pay those non-union the same amount. I'm asking for your consideration on those items.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion?
Dennis, I do have a question about the before and after care program.
Mm-hmm.
Will there be help both programs before and after? It won't just be Mr. Fringer and Mr.
No, we
Burns?
have others that we've approved that are
Okay.
part of the program.
There will always be a second
Yes.
one there.
So we have a number of substitutes covering for others.
Okay.
This afternoon, we felt it was necessary to have 3 individuals in there with the amount that we had.
Sure.
So that's part of the option that we have to talk about later. Do we have the facility to house? Do we have enough people? And also budgetary constraints with before and after care. So we do have others that are on this.
Good, thank you.
Roll call?
Mr. Duca?
Yes.
Mrs. Huddleston?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mrs. Merritt?
Yes.
8, under new business supplemental contracts, 8A, B, and C. Approve the following supplemental contracts for 23-24 school year pending all necessary certifications and backgrounds. Rick Mullinex, Dean of Students, 712 per MOU. Bob Vea, junior high football coach, step 4. Michelle Long, high school robotics, junior high robotics, and junior high track, all at step 4. Joseph Boudet, assistant football coach, step 0. Kevin Williams and Cheryl Williams, we just have one volleyball team, they're co-junior high coaches at step 0. Elizabeth Cole, JV volleyball coach, also at step 0. Also, game workers, approve the following game workers or volunteers for the 23-24 school year. Some are volunteers, some do get paid for these positions. Would you like me to read them? Okay. I do need a separate, we do have 2 that I probably need to break out. So let's go to number 37 and stop. And I need a vote there, and then 38 and 39 would be different.
Okay.
Am I making sense to you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
If we're stopping at.
We're
K,
stopping
B,
with Derek Bell.
Okay, yes, then I will make the motion.
You're excluding C now.
I'm excluding Michelle and Marcia last.
Well, you had A, B, C, that's why I was wondering.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay, I just wanna
I'm
make
getting
sure I
ahead
know
of
which one.
myself. I'm getting ahead of
So
myself.
A and B, 1
Yeah.
through 37, okay.
Go ahead.
Dan, okay,
I'll second that.
sorry, didn't mean to.
Yeah, I
make it
got caught
confusing.
up in that.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mr. Duca?
Yes.
Mrs. Huddleston?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mrs. Merritt?
Yes.
And same thing for volunteer game worker for Michelle Botoff.
Motion.
Second.
Doesn't matter, okay.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mrs. Huddleston?
Yes.
Mr. Duca?
Yes.
Mr. Votak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Merritt?
Yes.
And lastly, game workers again, volunteer and paid, Marcia Duco.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mrs. Huddleston?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mr. Duca?
Abstain.
Mrs. Merritt?
Yes.
Thank you, sorry about that.
No worries.
8C, resignation, accept the resignation of Ahmed Ali as assistant varsity football coach for the 23-24 school year. 9A and B, subs, approve the following subs for 23-24 pending all necessary certifications. Alicia Eller. And 9B, long-term van and bus substitute, approve Jane Ann Luxel as long-term van bus sub for 23-24 school year at step 1.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion?
On the resignation, did the gentleman put any time in, or did he resign before?
I don't believe that he did put any time in, no. No, he did not. In fact, I know he did.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call?
Mr. Duca?
Yes.
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mrs. Huddleston?
Yes.
Mrs. Merritt?
Yes.
10A and B and 12A. 10A is 23-24 bus routes, approve bus routes and stops for 23-24 school year, and authorize the administration to make changes as necessary for the student's safety and efficient operation. Title I non-public, approve a contract with Columbia County SC for title services for St. Paul students. That's in the executive file. And lastly, a contract for visual 12A, contract for visual impairment services. Approve a contract for teacher of students with visual impairment services with Wills Mobility and Vision Services LLC for 23-24 school year.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? I actually have a question on B. Is that contract directly with Columbiana County ESC?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Roll call?
Mr. Duco?
Yes.
Mrs. Huddleston?
Yes.
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mrs. Merritt?
Abstain.
And lastly, for me, and I don't know, I don't have anything executive session, I just wanted to just update the board and everybody in here. We're still in touch with Mr. Guy Costello, who's on medical leave of absence, just asking for your thoughts and prayers with him. He is battling, the ALS, and I'm sure he would appreciate any contact, any communications. We're hoping to try to get out and see him the next week or so. But anything that is new or update in any way that I can share, I certainly will do that with everyone. But I haven't seen him or talked to him since the middle of July. But I've had some reports that obviously his spirits are still very good, and he's battling, to be quite honest. But any support, communication, thoughts, prayers would be more than appreciated. But unless we have, I don't, but if there's anything for executive session, I can entertain that too.
I can say Guy's greatly missed
He
in
is.
the school,
He
very
really
much
is.
so.
We need a motion for adjournment?
I have a couple things, Jen.
Oh, sure.
Dennis, would you, I know you mentioned enrollment. You always send, or have Lisa send me the enrollment by grade. Would you mind having her do that?
I can show you, and then I will do that also.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then I know I'm gonna get the information, but how did we do open enrollment in versus out?
I don't have that.
You don't have that
I don't
yet?
have that, but I can get that.
Okay.
In fact, we're still getting some of those, well, Mr. Fairfield will tell you, we're still getting a little bit of that mix up with final forms and
Because even though we had a deadline,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
still were,
Yeah.
okay. And then, could you also send me a copy of the 7 through 12 schedule?
Yep.
And if you can you have the numbers, the student numbers that are in classes? And then with K-squared, it's K-squared, right?
Yes.
Do I say that right?
Mhm.
Would they be able to help us, or do you think it would be worthwhile? I think we're missing some opportunities as far as our paying for all the supplies for the kids in our after-school program. Is there any way we could get some publicity for ourselves on that? I mean, I see some things on social media, parents commenting on how nice it is, but even myself, I don't even know how much that costs us as a district. But
We
it would
can
be
get
nice.
a dollar amount together and kind of run that up the flagpole so people understand what kind of service they're getting.
Yeah, and really the after school, I mean, we're providing daycare, which is really a nice thing. So that's all I would have.
Enrollment, got it. Okay. Anyone else I can answer?
I guess we've had a great start to the school year, so thank you to the administration, the teachers, janitorial staff. I'm sure first 3 days have been so easy, the rest of you will be a breeze.
Perfect.
Thank you, Mr. Henderson,
Thank you.
appreciate it. I'm gonna pour some food on the floor outside there, 'cause you're so darn clean, you get off of it.
Any further discussion? We needed a motion to adjourn.
I will make the motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
I will second it.
Roll call. Mr. Duco?
Yes.
Mrs. Adelson?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mr. Redpath?
Yes.
Mrs. Merritt?
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Thanks, everyone. Audience, thanks.